Good day, everyone. We are the third and the last group wherein we'll talk about Renaissance to the modern classic. So when we say Renaissance, it means birth or rebirth in French, and Renaissance originated or was birthed in Florence, Italy, and then spread across Europe. And it spanned from 14th to 17th century and was a period of history and a European cultural movement. And then Renaissance was characterized or marked the transition from Middle Ages to modernity and was characterized by an effort to revive and hopefully surpass the ideas and achievements of the classical antiquity, which is also known as the Greco-Roman world, wherein Greek and Roman civilizations were interwoven. The influences was felt in art, architecture, religions, philosophy, music, science, technology, and the last but not least, literature. Watch and listen to this video attentively as this will serve as the last module for our prelim coverage, which will be held this Tuesday. Thank you. Now, let's proceed to the authors and their works. So first, William Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare, born on April 23, 1564, and died in the same day but in the different year, April 23, 1616, at Stratford-upon-Avon, England. So William Shakespeare has many works, but we are focusing on of his major work, which is the Hamlet, that published in 1599 to 1601. So Hamlet, it explores the themes of revenge, madness, mortality, and the complicity of human emotion. So, ang kaning Hamlet is about revenge. Revenge. So, nakaibaw si Hamlet that iyang papa gipatay sa iyang uncle, which is iyang uncle karon is the king. So, nagparamdam iyang papa ni Hamlet nga ang gapatay daw niya is iyang uncle. So, iyang uncle nga nakaibaw sa siya nga si Hamlet nakaibaw na sa tinuod nga ipatay niya ang papa ni Hamlet. So unhani siyang uncle nga patyon si Hamlet, which is nga murag nahimong threat si Hamlet niya kay nakibaya siya. So ang gibuhat ni Hamlet iyang nangita siya way nga iyang makuan ang iyang uncle, which is para makakita siya og justice para sa iyang papa.
Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes.
Today, I will discuss one of the great books, Don Quixote. It is a novel written by Spanish author Miguel de Cervantes. The full title is The Indigenous Gentleman Don Quixote of
La Mancha,
and it was published in two parts, first in 1605 and then the second part is in 1615. So the story overview of Don Quixote follows Alonso Quijano, who, obsessed with chivalric romances, becomes the self-styled knight Don Quixote. He embarks on wild adventures, famously known as the Windmills Giants, with his practical squire Sancho Panza. The content summary of Don Quixote. The Part 1. Alonso Quijano, after reading too many chivalric romances, decided to become a knight named Don Quixote. He sets out on a quest to revive chivalry, which envisions grand adventures but often leads to chaos. His most famous misadventure was attacking windmills that he believed to be giants. With him is Sancho Panza, a practical farmer who becomes his squire. In the second part, Don Quixote's fame spreads, and people begin to play with his delusions for entertainment. He continues his misguided adventure, but they become more tragic as he confronts the harsh reality of the world. Eventually, Don Quixote returns home, regains his senses, abandons his chivalric fantasies, and dies as Alonso Quijano. The author was Miguel de Cervantes, a Spanish writer. Don Quixote as a satire of the outdated chivalric ideals of his time. drawing on his life experiences to criticize the absurdity of such love. So the theme of this story is reality versus illusion, idealism versus pragmatism, and heroism. So the moral story that we can get from this great book by Miguel de Cervantes is this story teaches the importance of balancing dreams with reality and the value of critical thinking. It reminds us that while ideals can inspire, they must be grounded in practicality.
War and Peace is a novel by Russian author Leo Tolstoy. First published in 1869, the book is considered one of the greatest works of literature ever written, and is often cited as Tolstoy's masterpiece. At over 1,300 pages in its original form, it is a sweeping epic that covers the life of several aristocratic families in Russia during the time of the Napoleonic Wars. The novel is divided into 4 books, with each representing a different phase of the war. The first book, which sets the stage for the rest of the novel, introduces the main characters and their relationship with each other. The central characters are the Rostovs, the Bolkonsky, and the Pierre Bazakov. The Rostovs are a large and wealthy family who have a close relationship with Bolkonsky. The Bolkonskis are also wealthy, but are more reserved than the Rostovs. Pierre Bazakov is a wealthy young man who is illegitimate and who has recently inherited all the fortune. As the novel progresses, the lives of these characters become intertwined with each other, and with the events of the war, Tolstoy explores the theme of love, marriage, war, and the struggle for power and status in society. The novel is famous for its realistic depiction of battle and its complex characters, and one of the most significant events in the novel is the Battle of Borodino, which took place in 1812. Tolstoy described the battle in detail, portraying the violence and chaos of war and its effects on the violence unfolded. The battle is a turning point in the novel, marking the beginning of the end of Napoleonic armies. As the novel progresses, the lives of the main characters continue to change and evolve. Natasha Rostova, for example, starts off as a carefree and innocent young girl, but gradually matures as she faces the challenges of life. Pierre Bazakov also undergoes significant changes, from a naive and idealistic young man to a more mature and truthful adult. The novel's epilogue is also significant. It takes place several years after the event of the main narrative and provides a sense of closure for the characters and their stories. The epilogue also provides Tolstoy with an opportunity to reflect on the themes of the novel and to offer his own opinions on the nature of history and human behavior. In conclusion, War and Peace is a complex and thought-provoking novel that explores a wide range of themes and characters. It's a masterpiece of Russian literature, and until now it's relevant today as a reflection. And that's it. That's the highlights of War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy.
Now let's talk about the themes of the Renaissance period. So first is the humanism. So humanism is intellectual movement by revived interest in the classical world and studies on what it is to be human and not on religion. So humanism origin went back to 14th century in Italy, and one of the predecessor of humanism is Petrarch, who searched out the lost ancient manuscripts. And by the 15th century, humanism has spread across Europe. So humanism refers to a non-theistic view created on human agency. rather than revelations from supernatural source to understand the world. Humanists tend to advocate human rights, free speech, progressive policies, and democracy. And humanists also believe in the importance of education in classical literature and the promotion of civic virtue. So another example of predecessor of humanism is Dante Alighieri, who is the author of the Divine Comedy, which is all about salvation and hell.
Okay, so the second theme of the Renaissance period is rationalism. So rationalism, from the word itself, is rational. So we come in our mind that if we have the ability or capacity to reason out. And one of the meaning of rational or rationalism means we believe something, or that person holds a philosophical, he or she has a philosophical perspective. Okay, during the late 18th century, rationalism been observed. So in rationalism, it is stated that we come to knowledge or we gain knowledge through the use of logic. So that, we know that logic means reasoning, and thus independently of sensory experience. So sensory experience means based on what the person feel or observe. Okay, so one of the philosophical, one of the famous rationalist philosopher is Descartes, and he stated there that I think, therefore I am. Okay, so that statement reflects the rationalist idea that one's existence can be known through self-reflection and reasoning. Okay, I think, therefore I am. Okay, so the question there is, what was the effect of rationalism during the Renaissance period? Okay, so rationalists believe and they oppose superstitious belief. Like for example, if there's a black cat crossing the road, so they think that if we saw black cat, there's something to be happen. So maybe someone will die. Okay, so rationalists oppose that or those superstitious belief. So rationalists believe that instead looking for logical reasons to explain various things, they believe that being rationalist is they will help empowering future generations to find more logical and scientific answers. For example, in mathematics, we believe that we cannot give the answer without the solution. So in rationalists, so they believe that they will believe if there's a solution, and that is rationalism.
The third theme in the Renaissance period is individualism. So, the concept of individualism emerged during the Renaissance through the focus of human potential and self-expression. So during the Renaissance, a cultural movement that spanned 14th to 17th century, there was a significant shift of the way people, how they view themselves. So meaning, during the Renaissance, it focuses on it emphasizes the personality and the uniqueness of individuals. So it places a high value on the individual and their capacity of self-expression, self-determination, and self-improvement. So we as a human being, we need to accept ourselves, we need to respect, and we need to value ourselves because we as an individual, we are a unique.
So the fourth theme of Renaissance is Reformation. The Reformation of the 16th century is sometimes known as Protestant Reformation. In order to distinguish it from a Catholic Reformation, was a pan-European movement that called for a reform of the Roman Catholic Church, as well as the entirety of Christian society. So the Reformation was a religious, political, intellectual, and cultural upheaval that splintered the Roman Catholic Church and set the precedent for a new branch of Christianity, which is called Protestantism. When we say Protestantism, name used collectively
to refer to the many religious groups that separated from the Roman Catholic Church due to the differences in doctrines.
Now let's talk about the analysis of themes such as humanism and individualism on how they explore differently due to the changing historical context. When we talk about humanism and individualism, they are both philosophical themes that have been explored in literature throughout history. So now humanism, when humanism emerged during the Renaissance, which emphasizes the value and potential of the individual, and this reflected in the works of the authors like Petrarch and Erasmus. So these authors celebrated human potential and achievement. So when with the famous work of Petrarch entitled Canzoniere, a poem that celebrates the beauty of a human form and the potential of the individual, while the famous work of Erasmus is entitled The Praise of Folly. So it criticizes the excesses of Catholic Church and celebrates the value of human reason and individualism. So now, on the other hand, let's talk about the individualism, which became more prevalent during the Enlightenment or the 18th century. So this emphasizes the importance of individual rights and freedoms. Also, this reflected to the works of the authors like Jean Locke and Jean-Jacques. So, who championed the rights of the individual against the power of the state. So these themes can be attributed to the changing historical context that includes political, social, and cultural changes. So the famous work of John Locke is entitled The Two Treatises of Government, which outlines his theory of natural rights, individual liberty, and social contract. While the famous work of Jean-Jacques is entitled The Social Contract, which argues that the will of the people should be source of political authority and that individualism is essential for a free and just society.
So what is the literary techniques of Renaissance period and modern period? So literary techniques have evolved from the Renaissance period to the modern period. During the Renaissance period, writers focus on classical forms, elaborate metaphors, and detailed verse structures. For example of classical forms, architecture, they used often form religious themes of their works. For they elaborate metaphors in which they allow readers to explore of human roles and their experiences. For example, Shakespeare used monologue and complex character development. Their works often emphasize humanism, exploring themes of individual potential and human condition within the framework of classical forms and structures. And in modern period, they emphasize dramatic shift, like modernist writers like James Joyce, Virginia Woolf. They made from the traditional narrative techniques. They employed stream of consciousness in which they allow the readers to enter their mind and think more fully. Then showcasing fragmented and non-linear storytelling wherein the readers will deepen the meaning of the story. Modernist literature reflects a sense of disillusionment or a feeling of disappointment and fragmentation in which writers do their themes and narratives so that their readers are expected to make sense of the story.
Renaissance modern classic literature. To identify the modern classics from 19th to 20th century, where the Renaissance themes persist. Authors James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, and T.S. Eliot. In 19th century, saw a deep engagement with humanist ideals, particularly that emphasize on individualism and the exploration of human potential. This is evident in the works of authors like Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Charles Dickens. So in 20th century, modern classic literature, it focused on the individual experience and inner life central to humanist philosophy, became a defining characteristic of modernist literature. It often reflects Renaissance concerns with human experience, consciousness, and the tension between the tradition and innovation.
So now let's talk about philosophical influences. Consider how Renaissance philosophy, particularly humanism and rationalism, shaped the moral and intellectual concerns of modern classic literature. So now, the humanism and rationalism during Renaissance created a fertile ground. Fertile ground, it means for the development of modern classic literature. Writers engage with these philosophies to explore the human condition, often placing individual experience and rational thought. The moral and intellectual struggles of characters in works by authors like Leo Tolstoy, Marcel Proust, and Franz Kafka can be seen as a direct adherence of humanism, emphasis of the individual, and rationalism fit on reason. So the humanism, this philosophy emphasizes the value and agency of human being, focusing on human experience, individual potential, and the knowledge. So during the Renaissance, humanism shift the focus from the divine and the afterlife to the human experience and the present world. So ang humanism kay nag-focus siya sa human experience, individual, o knowledge. Next is rationalism. This is the belief in a reason as the primary source of knowledge and truth. The Renaissance period satirized scientific inquiry and moved away from relying solely religious explanation of understanding the world. So, ang rationalism kay nag-focus siya sa belief, reasons, and primary knowledge and truth. These philosophical influences from the Renaissance shaped the moral and intellectual concerns of modern classic and literature by encouraging a focus on human experience, critical thinking, and knowledge.
When we say secularism, so secularism is none inside of religion, which is the outside. But during the Renaissance, secularism is not prominent. So prominent means it's not stand out. But this time, modern secularism is characterized by a commitment to religious pluralism, which recognizes the right of individuals to practice their own faith without interference from the state. Secular states typically have no official religion and treat all religions equally under the law. So, the example of secularism is atheism. They don't believe God, but they have their own beliefs. So seculars also emphasize state neutrality. State neutrality towards religion, meaning that the government should not favor any particular religion or promote religious beliefs. This principle aims to ensure that all citizens, regardless of their religious beliefs, are treated equally and have equal access to public services. So, nowadays, the secularism have a freedom to choose their belief, religion, and also the state or the government, they don't discriminate.
Themes of Renaissance period, rebirth and rediscovery, the product of Europe breaking from the Middle Ages to become, as in a sense, reborn. Humanisms, which emphasize the need to rediscover the classical Greek philosophies, which link with rationalism and individualism. Renaissance French word meaning rebirth is applied to the rediscovery and revival of interest in the art, architecture, and literary culture of which took place in Italy from 14th century onward and northern Europe a little later.
I will discuss early modern period of three novels, which are The Hamlet by William Shakespeare, The Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes, and the last one is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. So let us first discuss The Hamlet by William Shakespeare. And this novel Hamlet, it is the longest play of Shakespeare, and it was published it was published the year of 1623. And the second one, let us discuss the second one, which is the Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes, and it is labeled as the first modern novel, and it was published the year between the two parts, 1605 and 1615, and the last one, Leo Tolstoy, the novel of War and Peace. So the War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, it is the masterwork of Russian literature, and it was published the year of 1869. So to sum up everything, the Hamlet novel by William Shakespeare, it was published year 1623, and the novel of Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes, it was published between two parts, 1605 to 1615. And the last one, The War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, it was published the year of 1869.
And that will be all. Thank